fan, where are you looking towards this all season to get the Bills back on the right track for next year?
Uh, fuck. It sucks because a lot of people are gonna like, what's the magic pill? What's the formula? But I honestly think, we missed this season. I think it might be a retool year next year. I think we gotta get younger in some key spots. Safety. I know it's been nice to have the tandem back there with Poyer and Hyde, but I'll be honest with you, I think it's time to let them go. We've had them for 6 years back there. It was a good time, but their age is showing and they just cost too much money. They're not worth what they're getting paid. So you start there at the safeties, Tre'Davious White, that's a huge question mark coming back with a huge contract. With Rasul Douglas, it could ease in the load for him and make him a second, the number two. But a number two corner can't be making what he's making. So there's gonna be some contract talks about him, possibly cut him, possibly trade him. I don't know. The defensive line, I think only Ed Oliver, Von Miller, and Greg Rousseau are actually signed next year. So I mean, that is just another one. Leonard Floyd, you'd love to bring him back, but he's got 9.5 sacks right now, so he might actually get a payday. So you don't know if you can bring him back. Daquan Jones, I think we can bring him back. He's had a pretty good start to the year. Obviously, he's out for the rest of it. I think we can probably bring him back cheap. And you start going and it's going to be tough. It's going to take two drafts to probably fill these holes. And offensively, center and right tackle. Those are what we need to get on the line ASAP because I think Mitch Morse is going to retire. So we're gonna have to replace him very soon. We're losing Gabe Davis. I swear to God, I hope we lose
Oh
Gabe
no!
Davis. I think he's
God.
gone.
Oh God,
Um,
no, not
yeah,
Gabe.
fuck, dude, please get rid of him. You got to replace him in house by bringing like Shakir or a Justin Shorter to play that position. But there's a lot of question marks that I think it's going to be a lot of cutting some old age, drafting really well, and kind of developing these guys for that second run for Josh to, make a run for the Super Bowl.
Is it time to start having the coach talk?
Oh, the coach talk's happening. That's happening. The problem is that the Pagulas have basically said that it doesn't matter as long as he don't go to jail, he's not getting fired. So the coach talk, it's the coach talk is definitely starting. I think
McDermott
there's
departing.
yeah,
It's
it starts. And next year is critical because he puts two of these seasons together. I think you might see McDermott departing, salute his way out of here. But he's keeping his job through this off season, so we'll see. We gotta get younger. We gotta get younger. We gotta dress well. That's what you gotta do.
Yo, what do you think about the Bills all season?
That's well said, Howard. That was very well said. Because you know what happens when you keep these aging guys on here with these fat contracts and you don't get the young bulls in there is they don't develop when you need them to. So now when you finally get rid of them, now these guys aren't what you thought they were. You know what I'm saying? Some of them might leave. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is the perfect time to do it, right? 6-6, you might get in, you might not. Even if you do get in, you might not go that far. You know what I'm saying? Trim the fat. Trim the fat. Tre'Davious White. See what you can do about that. Poyer and Hyde, they had their time. Great, cool. You know what I'm saying? They want to come back and be a rotational piece on a cheaper contract. Not opposed to that. They gave the city a lot. Teams do that sometimes, but just know you're not going to be the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't.
The Von Miller thing, hey,
I wasn't even
140
gonna talk
million
about it.
when he was you gave him 140 million at 33. It seemed like a desperation play, and now you're being punished for it. So there ain't much to say about that. The Gabe Davis thing, yeah, like we said, let that motherfucker go, boy. Let that guy. I'm not even a Bills fan, and he frustrates me. You know what I'm saying? But also, so this is what I would ask you: whose contracts are expiring and who's still under contract next year? Who's like one of these aging vets? I know Vaughn is. You're not going to get much for him, but
Yeah, you're not gonna get nothing for him.
no.
Veteran wise,
Yeah,
Vaughn,
vets.
Travis White. Obviously, Diggs is signed, but he's signed for a minute. I think we got him for three more after this. And I think that's really it. I mean, Deion Dawkins has got an extension, but I think that's up soon. Yeah, we got like no contracts late.
Yeah. So I mean, restructures would be your best friends. Restructures would be your best friends. You know what I'm saying? And if there's no way you can really get out of this unscathed without, eating a lot of that dead cap, restructures, you know what I'm saying? Give them a nice little bonus and run it back. But you got to remember, every year you keep running it back with this same squad that you realize is just hitting a wall, like Tennessee did all those years. They just kept hitting a wall. They've plateaued. You're hurting guys like Shakir, who should be playing a lot more than he is, and now he is. Guys like Kincaid,
Yep.
guys like James Cook, working them in. Josh Allen's development,
See,
and then there's always free agency. If you don't want to tear it down from scratch, you guys have been drafting actually pretty phenomenally. It's just you draft these guys, you get a steal, and you barely use them because you have these obligations to these guys because you're paying Von Miller $160 million over the next 4 or 5 years. His ass better be out there. You know what I'm saying?
and it's Tom. It's just that Tom. At this point, we're gonna look at Josh Allen, right? If we're gonna play him up there with the Pat Mahomes, the Joes, all them. So it's Tom. What do Pat do? What do they do with Pat? As long as they got Pat, they don't care about the rest of the team. They keep Kelsey and they keep Chris Jones. Outside of them three, as long as they got them three and Andy, they don't care about the rest of the team. It came to a point where they finally had to let Honey Badger go. And you gotta hope you can hit. What happened? Now the Chiefs have McDuffie, who is probably one of the best corners in the league now.
He's up there.
So it comes.
He's getting up there. Yeah, he's nice.
He one of the better corners. So at a certain point, you gotta stop feeling like y'all gotta put the best of the best talent around Josh, because as long as y'all got 17, y'all shouldn't worry about the rest.
Yeah.
Y'all found his Travis Kelsey and Kincaid, who I think in the next year, maybe two, could be the third best, the third, second, third, anywhere from four down, fourth, third, second, or first best tight end in the league.
This is what I think, right? Because I see where you're going with this, right? You've got a tight end, top 10 tight end probably. He continues up next year, he's gonna be viewed as a top 10 tight end, top 15, easy. That's an easy group to crack. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of elite guys.
I'm saying top three.
You got
I feel like
he has the potential to do that too. I'm saying top 10, no matter like where at. You know what I'm saying? But you got that on a rookie contract, right? Fact. You got a super athletic, running back that has some vision problems, but he can carry the workload. You cycle in another vet. That's a position you want to maybe roll with too. And then you got a receiver that you just discovered can play. He's been sitting there the whole time. Shakir. You could put Shakir in the slot. You could put him outside. You could move him around. He could be that gadget guy. And there's a lot of young stud receivers that are going to be on the market this year. If you could clear some of that cap space, I don't see why a T. Higgins or a Devontae Smith or a who else? Brandon Ayuk, if they can't bring him back, who else was it? Who's the really big fish that's going to be out there? It was Devontae, T. Higgins, whatever. Any of those three guys, and you do the same thing that you did with Diggs when Josh Allen was 21 years old. You bring him in with a guy that's right at the cusp of breaking through, and you run it back with that. You keep that young core. So now the only guys you're paying is Josh, that superstar receiver you bring in, and you go and draft another guy to fill that third slot that you thought Gabe was going to be. Because I promise you, somebody's going to pay Gabe Davis something. Somebody's going to look at his film and be like, I can work with that.
And in fact, if y'all and like, we talk, and you've been telling me about Josh Allen, Josh Allen, on the defensive side for the Panthers. But honestly, you pair him with a Matt Milano, I feel like that could be nasty. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all paid Ed Oliver, so I mean, on the real, that might be the path.
I would do backflips if we were able to afford Josh Allen, the pass rusher. I just don't think we are. I mean, it really all depends on that, how much they bump up that cap, because he's looking at anywhere between 25 to 30 million a year, which is, I mean, well deserved, but like, we just don't have that money. I think we do have to, like you said, we have to look at the Chiefs and kind of take a page out of their book. Like, hey, they realize you can't have all these big contracts. You can only have a couple of them. You just gotta respect the process and trust, your coaches around you, your scouting department to find you serviceable guys that you can kind of just rotate And coaching, I mean, Steve Spagnuolo, he doesn't really have any huge names on that defense, but they're pretty nasty because they've got some talent and he's a good coach. Like he knows how to coach them and put them in good spots. So I think that's what we kind of have to do. We just gotta let these players play, coaches coach, and scouts scout, and just not reach. Don't reach anymore. Because I mean, the Von Miller thing, it was a reach and it didn't work, and it could possibly really hurt us now. So we just can't make that mistake again, and gotta move forward and trust in 17.